And we are recording. All right, and this is Cannabis Genome DAO Town Hall number 9. Sorry guys, I'm in a very important meeting. And we are going to be discussing some proposed roles today for participation in the DAO and basically kind of getting things done and achieving this whole vision. So the notes for today and the agenda are on Notion. I'll just go ahead and pull this up on the screen here for a minute. And so, yeah, basically we're going to get started. We do have a few new members in the Discord channel, a few new guest passes every week. That's been fantastic, and our Twitter following has been growing as well. I think we are up to, 239 followers on Twitter. So getting there, getting the word out, hopefully growing this community. So I've got a few links here up at the top of the agenda and notes to help people get started for anybody who finds this, or anybody who pops in here as we get going. So just, weekly meeting calendar with a couple of meetings haven't been quite able to keep up with them, but just trying to host many different spaces as we can, different times to, figure out times that are good for people so we can start hopefully getting connecting with more people. Website, got some updates on there recently on the website, cannabisgenome.me, and that includes some screenshots of the current demo version running on my local machine of the Canada Data Market, and some other stuff, and some other stuff. So hopefully we'll be getting some more of these notes up there as well. We added some pin posts to the Discord channels, and we have a bunch of cool stuff on the link tree. So definitely, if you're listening to this after the fact, go ahead and check that out. Cool. We got Firefighter and Super somehow. Let me get that. So let's do this one. Guardian background. All right. So today, the main thing I wanted to present and discuss was the topic of proposed roles and sort of figuring out how we can create a structure to onboard people into participating and then also earning rewards and demonstrating their sort of getting credentials essentially throughout the organization and the community. So we do the Genome DAO is a nonprofit organization, unincorporated nonprofit, and so in acting in that sense, and trying to be a DAO, trying to be more of a horizontal and flat organization instead of a hierarchical and vertical organization. That was sort of the intention behind some of this structure, and to inject more of a kind of like a tree where it's smaller at the bottom and bigger at the top, and there's a lot more options and freedom to move within the organization instead of being restricted. So that was sort of my philosophy behind coming up with this, and I used the allegory of the metamorphosis, insect metamorphosis, in that we're Cannabis Genome DAO, and we're tending to data about plants, and our goal is to incentivize open source research and to advance the development of new therapeutics through open source research, so cannabis and medicine. Then we're sort of stewards of this data and plant data, sort of like insects are, and good insects can be stewards of a healthy garden and healthy plants. So this symbiotic relationship is sort of what I was trying to encapsulate in this structure. And I reviewed this with a couple other team members, and we're going to get some more feedback. So hopefully, let me just run through this here. So kind of starting off as hatchling, the first stage of insect development, right? First, the second stage is like an eggs, but just joining the Discord channel, just getting involved with the group. Then you move on to the NIMP stage, which would be equivalent to our current guest staff, but old, the current guest staff. And that's just getting those basic getting started steps done. Just clicking through a couple of channels and clicking the emoji that verifies you've read the content and sort of moving through those basic instructions. And that opens up almost everything on Discord, or most of the stuff, and the ability to apply for full membership and join guilds and teams, and move on to becoming a full member, which is not much of a big step from the guest staff, or you sort of complete membership application. We've found success in the past, a couple of different points in the chat and in these meetings, having a couple other things for requirements, so I kept it very, very minimal, in terms of the things you might have discussed, like attending town halls and getting a pull-out. So I just had that as one, attending one town hall. New six, it's really easy to get new six level 1. I think you have to post like 1 or 2 messages, but new six level 2 is also extremely easy to get. So sort of informal, or semi-formal way to just show some engagement with the community before getting that sort of stamp of saying, okay, you're a member. You can fill out the application, but at least you have to have shown up to something and maybe communicated in the chat a little bit. So and that gets you access to a few of the restricted channels. So that's it for the first one, and then moving on. So first Instar, second Instar, third Instar, sort of the later development stages of approaching metamorphosis for insects. And so it's sort of like level 1, 2, 3, right? So once you're a member, you can get level 1, 2, 3, sort of first Instar, second Instar, third Instar, as you move through and participate in guilds and teams, where we have these coordinate circles and epochs. So an epoch is just a period of time where really through a coordinate circle. And so participating in those and participating in these guilds and teams that we're trying to form, and completing bounties, whether that's on DeWork or through any other platform, but and then using your CRED, right? So participating in the chat and getting praise from other people in the chat, sort of through those emojis that are attributing this CRED tokens, verification tokens. And so that social instance is almost up and running, but essentially this sort of structure, right, moving up to third Instar and getting more of these things done, actually participating in the community, sort of earning these credentials, right, building this sort of resume in the DAO as you earn your first, second, and third Instar. That would you'd be eligible to participate for more roles, and sort of it would branch out horizontally as you sort of move down the part of the path that is linear, right? So I like to think of it, like I mentioned earlier, we have the DAO is considered trying to be, the philosophy is more of a horizontal, like flat organization as compared to a hierarchical and vertical organization, right? So to spread out and distribute power to the outside. I think as people rise in the ranks, that should be there should be more distribution. So you basically get to unlock more and more as you rise through the part of the path that is linear. Right? So moving down the third Instar, down to through chrysalis into imago, which is the final stage, the adult stage, essentially post metamorphosis. So the fully mature stage is imago, and so then you'd be eligible to participate in things like the Treasury Council, or be a steward for the actual decentralized seed bank that we can start discussing as well. So sort of opening up additional roles, right? So third Instar, so I'm sorry, jumping back, but third Instar, you can become a peer reviewer for data sets in the marketplace, or you can become a developer and actually access some of the core codes for what's running underneath the marketplace. Some of those bounties, I guess, that would have been completed to get there might have actually, been developer roles, but they would have been, sort of you have to earn those credentials and earn those permissions to demonstrate your your ability and sort of commitment and sort of earn that place in the community. And so anyone is open to anyone. It's pretty permissive concept. And so there's nothing stopping anyone from receiving any of this or moving through this in however they wish. And so that's sort of the concept. And there's additional, non-linear roles that could be attained, sort of off that path. Right? So like I mentioned, a few like peer reviewer, the developer, community steward, seed bank steward, treasury council, and any other guild teams that are formed, and we can incorporate into the structure in the community, in this organization. So I know there's a lot, so I'm going to stop for a minute and get back in the chat and see if anybody wants to chime in. Keep going already. Fear fighter, I think I see you green, but I don't hear you. Is my audio? No.
Strange. I'm not able to hear anything. I don't know what's up. Well, I'm assuming you're able to hear me because you were trying to talk. You can drop a message in the voice chat right above. Alright, well, I'm going to continue because I'm hoping that you can hear me, and I'm assuming that I'm recording, so I'm going to at least finish and then post this recording, because that was the goal, to sort of have more of a informal chat hangout at the beginning of the town halls, make it more of a community space, and then at the end, just sort of do a quick run through of updates, hopefully, and address any questions, get feedback, incorporate feedback, and hopefully find ways for people to get involved, all throughout. But so I'm hoping to keep the recording short, is what I'm trying to say. So let me finish up, and then I'll get this up on YouTube so we can get this so everyone can hear and see. So returning to what I just covered, the proposed role structure. This is open for chat. This is open for debate. It's open for suggestion, comment, ideas, everything. So I would love to hear any and all of it. And I hope that this is fun and is a way to make sense. I hope it's useful, and it will help our community and organize into an organization. And be productive and responsible and accountable and effective. So that is my proposal and our proposal from the core team. And so I hope that that there is a good reception to it. So a few other updates. I can't believe I forgot one in there. Wow. So I did post it on Twitter earlier. The Giveth grant. I'll go ahead and copy that link. Okay. I'm not logged in. Okay, so grant and development updates. So our Ocean DAO grant proposal was claimed and transferred to the multisig on Ethereum mainnet. So that was 3,000 US dollar equivalent in Ocean tokens that we got for the purpose of completing several milestones and deliverables that consist of deploying Canada Market as I've currently got it running on my local machine to the Aurora EVM testnet. So that is the Ethereum virtual machine, so Ethereum compatible, essentially. Code can run on Near protocol, so that's what Aurora is. And so the goal for this grant is to deploy Canada Market on that testnet and begin driving usage of the platform. So this would also require deploying our CSAT token on Near testnet and then transferring those tokens across the bridge to the Aurora testnet. So that is all going to be happening over the next month, and is the goal essentially to have that hopefully done by 420, so that we can go live on testnet at 420. It's an ambitious goal, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But I am optimistic that everyone I've been reaching out to get support from these other groups, from Aurora, from Ocean DAO, and a few others have been will help make this happen. So yeah, I mean it's been moving kind of quick, and I was talking to Rogue Leader earlier. It's kind of just some of it's a little over my head, so some of it moves forward and then hit a roadblock, and then it ends up shifting to something else. So it is moving quickly, and I think it's great that there's so much interest from these other groups that we're working with. So I also have been communicating with Mintbase DAO. So Mintbase is a NFT minting platform. You can create your own NFT storefront, and then basically it's on Near protocol, and their backend integrates with Arweave, which is a data storage blockchain. And so they have some great code that I think could potentially be useful for a front end that is essentially built on Near. So just kind of potentially use some of their stuff for their front end, their NFT store, in combination with the front end for Ocean Market. It's a little bit more down the road in terms of after getting things launched. The front end initially is going to be just the Ocean Market front end. But Mintbase has great open source code and a great team, and they have a DAO that has a grant program. So I've written a grant proposal to create an NFT collection called Canada Scientists. So that is linked to in the addendum notes, and essentially it's a grant proposal to fund that through a art submission contest, and so trying to recruit artists who are producing NFTs on Near already, and reward them through this, through the funds we get through this grant. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I reached out to the Mythbase team in the DAO, and they signaled support that it was definitely within their area of interest. So pretty much ready to submit that. I'm just hoping to get a little support here from the DAO before going forward, but or feedback. That would be fantastic, especially on the proposal itself. Please feel free to leave comments or shoot me a message or chime in. But yeah, I think that could be fun, doing a little NFT collection like that. And then once the NFT collection was produced, they would be listed and sold on Mintbase, and we would be the DAO would be then profiting from that, and that those funds would go to the DAO treasury to fund development. So we could hire some developers. Or put out some more bounties. Ideally, I think would be the way to hire developers and bring people into the community. So that's kind of the plan with that proposal for Mintbase DAO, I think it's a fun one. Any comments on that? Anybody want to chime in? No, I think we're still having audio issues. Okay. Let me just keep going. So, there are 2 other in-progress grants that are shown on the agenda notes. One for Aurora, which was mentioned just above, the EVM that we're going to be deploying to over the next month. So they also have a grant program. And then also Anchor, which was mentioned in the call last week, which is they have public RPC near endpoints. So basically we could, that's how we would process transactions through that. Instead of hosting our own node, we could run it through theirs. And the offer grants for developers, it's a very cool, I think, community, Anchor. They are DAOifying and becoming a DAO as well, and have a community that is their whole RPC endpoints are decentralized. It's really cool. So I think in terms of potential top to bottom decentralization for the technologies that we're building, I think that could be a great solution. And I mean they're currently offering grants to build using their technology. So and their node is free to use for the first million transactions per day, which is a fair amount. So and that would even be on mainnet. So that would we wouldn't even need that right away, but after launching on testnet and getting some usage and some traction, we could move to mainnet, and I think that that would be great to incorporate to the roadmap. So and last, there actually is a number 5. They're Giveth. So giveth.io. So it's giveth.io. Our grant proposal and application has been approved and is live on their website. We're working to get it verified status, and so that we just had a post go out on Twitter today, which is part of that process, just demonstrating that our account on Twitter actually can post. It was just a small step, but a necessary one, and so that verification will be going forward ASAP, and so hopefully we can get that verified, so that it's really cool, because anyone who donates through Giveth to our platform will then receive Give tokens in return. So they have what they call a Give economy, where people who donate are then rewarded in these tokens, and then they can participate in Giveth governance and community there. They're rewarded in tokens for making a donation. It's a pretty cool concept. So we have a grant live on Giveth. So that I think is fantastic. Still working on getting Gitcoin approved. So that's been in the process for a long time. But so no real updates there, other than I'm drafting a lengthy appeal to make sure that everything is very clear. And hopefully it will be approved. But yeah, that is the end of the updates. Thank you for everyone for sticking around. I really hope you're able to hear me. If not, this video will be up on YouTube ASAP. So, Cannabis Genome DAO, Town Hall number 9, officially adjourned. Recording is stopped.